Next use case is a pretty burning use case, which is a campaign attribution. Like every user is having issue with the campaign attribution. Some of the users don't know how to track the campaign attribution. Some of them are confused between the install attribution and the campaign attribution. So campaign attribution is a simple word where the install attribution fits in, and other things like if I implemented a deep link and app is being opened by a deep link, then that particular campaign is also being feed in that particular attribution report. So campaign attribution does have a two different approaches. One is the install attribution and other is the deep link attribution. So install attribution is a pretty simple way. So there is one like listener available, which is like in the documentation itself. If you want to have a look at that listener, you can check out our blog as well, how to implement Google Analytics with the help of Google Tag Manager version 4 container. So yes, in this particular use case, I'm going to cover a deep link use case, so that you need to have this prerequisites. Google Analytics is implemented with the GTM version 4 container. Also, a working deep link is most important thing. So there are 6 steps attached to this particular use case, and I have simplified this use cases to this level. So if app is open, let's say user has opened the app, so you need to check the intent is having any referral or not. So if I'm a user and I'm opening the application from deep link, then there might be any other referral available with my deep link, and the application will receive that particular referral. So I need to check that referral, and I need to get it back from that particular URL. Then the third step is to check if the app is a web URL or a app crawler. So if it is a web URL, then it must be having the schema of HTTP of https:// or it is a web app crawler, then it must be having some package name kind of URL build. Then if it is a web URL, then just you need to parse the UTM parameters from attached with that particular web URL, or you can pass a host name from where a user have arrived. So you need to pass that parameter into a data layer. So by passing the campaign parameters, I mean pushing this parameters to a data layer. The fifth step is if app crawler is there, if referrer is an app crawler, then process that information and pass those parameters into a data layer. How to process that? Let's say if a user searches in the search box that Android gives you, like Omnibox, and user can search from there, and you can the application can be opened from there as well. You can take an advantage of that, and you can consider this traffic as an organic traffic if you want. So you can search for typical pattern of package name by which the user has arrived from that particular app crawler. Then you can pass that particular parameters to a campaign. And the sixth thing, most important thing, yes, create or configure tags and triggers in the GTM version 4 container. So to go into a further detail, the second step is to getting referrals. Shown in the screen, you can have a code, this kind of code, which will be getting you a referral URI, which is a parsable, obviously, URI, which is having a different kind of parameters or with the host name, but obviously. So this method will be helpful to get the referral from the any activity or intent. The third step is to check whether the referral is a web or a app. So you can simply put a condition whether it contains HTTP or HTTPS. We come to fourth and fifth step. So it is simple step where process the referral data and push it into a data layer. After getting those data as a source, medium, and campaign, this will be processed and pushed into a data layer. Now this data layer should be pushed with the open screen event, so that your session start with this open screen event. No further, no additional events, no nothing, just a screen view with the campaign parameters. So it will simply start a session, and a session will be attributed to that particular source medium, whichever is available or whichever has opened the application. At the conclusion part of this particular use case is the configuring GTM tag inside your container version 4. So, but obviously in the field to set part, so field to set area, you need to specify CS as in campaign source, CM as in campaign medium, and CN as a campaign name. And other parameters, if GCL ID is available or term or content is available, then you can pass it with the data layer, and you can have it here on the tag side, and the tag will be sending this particular parameters to Google Analytics platform.